hope I sparked your curiosity. Hi everyone, it's Alex from Following Alex. So if you're new to the channel, hi, and if you're here for this book discussion, I'm super excited to share it with you. So this book discussion today is about Signs, the Secret Language of the Universe by Laura Lynn Jackson. As soon as I started this YouTube channel, I knew that I wanted to share not only that I read this book, but the crazy stories that I have with it. This book is broke up into 4 parts. One is Always With Us, which talks about signs from loved ones that have passed on. Part 2 is Creating Your Own Language. This was my favorite one. This shows you how to make your own signs. And then part 3 and part 4 are about how to not only get the most out of this communication, but how to use your energy to uplift and draw good things to you. The best part about this book is, even if you are skeptical, it offers stories that cannot be coincidences. Like, these personal stories will at least inspire you to try for yourself. And this book also gives you the tools to do just that. You can try for yourself, and then once you see it, you'll believe it. I definitely believe it, and I have for a while, but what's happened recently is amazing, and I can't wait to share with you, so let's just get into it. So this experience I was involved in but didn't happen to me, but it was no coincidence. And if you haven't caught on, I do not believe in coincidences, and you shouldn't either. So in 2019, my grandma lost her beloved dog, Caesar. So Caesar was like 13 to 14 years old. He just died of like complications from old age, but my grandmother was heartbroken, and I was heartbroken for her. And my grandma was having a hard time grieving. A friend of hers gave her a book, and it was about butterflies. So I don't know if you've heard about this before, but this is the first time it's really been brought to my attention. I think I've heard of it before, but my grandmother really brought it to life for me. She asked me if I believe that butterflies were a sign from a loved one that has passed. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, like I can see that, but I didn't think much of it. Within the same week, I'm walking at a popular park in our town, and I saw a chipmunk, and the chipmunk was stuffing its face. And so I'm here with my camera right down into it. I look up on the park bench. There's a woman sat there with her phone, and she's giggling. So I'm assuming she's giggling at me or at the chipmunk, you know, in this moment that I'm in. She stops me and she says, "Can I talk to you about something? I don't know if I should be sharing this. It's like a little weird, but I need to tell someone." And so I was like, yeah, like I love that stuff. Please tell me. And she was like, "Have you ever heard that butterflies can be signs from loved ones?" My jaw almost dropped. There was no coincidence that my grandmother was just talking to me about this, and then this woman that I've never met in my life stopped me to tell me this story. So I actually told her, yeah, like my grandmother was just talking to me about that, like, you know, weird. So tell me more, tell me more. And she goes on to tell me that she comes to this park around this time every year because that's where she used to frequent with her husband and her dog. Around this time, several years ago, she had lost her husband and her dog within a couple weeks. And this was actually the anniversary of the day that she lost her dog. I was like trying not to cry. She was telling me that her dog was black and white. I think she said it was a Dalmatian, I can't be sure, but I know the dog was black and white. She shows me a video of a black and white butterfly. The video is her walking, and the butterfly is like jumping next to her feet. It's not even flying, but it's catching up to her. And the video was like a minute or 2 minutes long. Like, you could tell that she was taking this video thinking the butterfly was gonna fly away, and it was just like a little coincidence. But the butterfly kept catching up to her feet. It was actually amazing. I've never seen anything like that. And the fact that it was black and white was just, as soon as she showed me that and I thought about my grandmother, we both knew like that was definitely a sign. And it's so funny because in this book, Laura Lynn Jackson talks about butterflies as popular signs that people use to communicate with their loved ones. Advice from the book, if you're looking for signs like that, is to think of something that's significant to your relationship, significant enough that they know about it, and unique enough that you will know it's not a coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence, but open your heart to that. So I hope that story inspired you a little bit. The next few stories I want to tell you took place after I read this book, so long after my butterfly experience. That happened in 2019. I just read this book. I came across it on Pinterest, and I was like, that looks so interesting. I don't think that's a coincidence either that I came across it, and I don't think it's a coincidence that you came across this video. I've been looking for a sign because I have so many ideas and passions that I want to follow. I'm really lacking the confidence and the timing. I'm doubting myself. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a language of the universe, and I'm gonna ask for a couple signs. I asked for a sign, and my sign was if I should pursue this path that I'm thinking of, show me a beaver. And the reason I said that was because we just moved by a lake, and I've lived around lakes and I've seen beaver dams my whole life. I don't think I've ever seen a beaver in the wild. But there was beaver dams everywhere, and I was like, you know what, I really want to see a beaver. And so I put that in my head, I sent it to the universe, I was really looking forward to it. We went out on a hike, we went down by the water, I thought I saw something and I did. And so I'm looking at the water and I'm saying, oh, I guess, you know, maybe I'll see it, because you do have to give these signs time. But I was actually discouraged because I didn't see it right away. Then I look over to my right and this little baby beaver is swimming next to me. So I'm hyped, I'm like, there's a beaver, I saw a beaver, like, yeah, thank you. But then I was doubting myself because she talks about how our logical brain will take over. And so let's think about it. I moved right next to a lake. It's about that time of year beavers come out. There was a beaver dam. Like, I was kind of setting myself up for something that was going to happen, which I still shouldn't ignore. That's my intuition. Like, that's my gut instinct. That's what I want to do. But I wanted to be a little bit more sure. So I asked for a wishbone. I don't know about you, but I don't see many wishbones. I got this necklace for myself a few years ago, and I don't know why I have such a strong attachment to it, but I do. If you can see, the chain is really ripped up and I just can't get rid of it. I need to keep it. I don't know if you have any items that you're emotionally attached to, but if you do, let me know. I'd love to hear the story about it. So I don't see wishbones often, but it's something significant to me. So I had my mind open. A few days went by and I hadn't seen it, and I was thinking, like, this is a pretty unique sign for me. It might take some time. So it was only 3 days later. I was at the pet store. I had to get my dog a new harness. And I just glanced over at the wall and there's a toy, and it's kind of shaped like a wishbone, but I didn't notice it. Like, I just glanced past the toy. Then I seen the title on the tag and it said wishbone, and that's what caught my eye. Not the wishbone shape itself, but actually the words wishbone. And I was like, okay, universe, you're really trying to communicate with me. So then I still doubted myself, because this is such a big decision that I'm making. I really needed to be sure about it. So I went even more specific. I hold significance to the numbers 137. 137, the sequence of numbers, has always been important to me. I don't know if that means anything, so I asked for that sequence of numbers. A week went by and I didn't see anything, and I kind of got discouraged. I was like, this is a really specific one. Maybe the other ones were a coincidence. Do not get discouraged. Things take time, especially when you ask for something unique, but you're not gonna see that every day, so give yourself some time. I was actually doing a work project and I was filling it out, and I realized that it needed a project ID. I wanted to know what kind of sequence of numbers I was looking for. Was it like 3 letters and a number? Was it 2 numbers? Was it 10 numbers? Like, I wanted to know what to look for. So I opened up an old one that I have no connection to. I've never read this project, and I went to its project ID number, 137. It was number 137. So I thought that was pretty cool. I hope my stories have inspired you or sparked your curiosity. This book is a pretty easy read. Some of the stories are heavy and my heart can't take it. I read it in a week, but it was like little chapters at a time, just because I'm a really emotional person, and it was a little bit hard to read sometimes because thinking about loss that people experience. But I recommend you read it, take notes, but most importantly, you have to be open to these signs. You have to be paying attention. If you're gonna ask for a sign, look for it. Now, you don't have to go out and actually search like it's a treasure map. Just be aware of your surroundings. If you're driving past a huge billboard, look at it. If you're in a store or like anywhere, like cafe, and they have these like ornaments on the wall, look at them. If there's music playing, listen to what it is. Things like that. And even if you're skeptical, that's why I really recommend this book, because it's giving you tools that you can actually use to prove to yourself. Take these tools, make your signs, see what happens. You have to be patient and you have to have a little bit of faith. If you have your own stories, I would love to hear them. You can either find me on Instagram and message me, or you can comment if you want everybody to know. If you have any other book recommendations or anything that relates to this, please let me know. So if you like my video, you can like and subscribe. Thanks for listening, and good luck communicating with the universe and finding your signs. Bye.